probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
I'm Jeff Gordon, and you're watching Racing America.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Monday night edition, kind of a retro throwback, if you will.
It's like old times, right?
Our old Monday night slot coming in about 30 minutes earlier than normal. We start at 6:30 on Monday. But it's indeed everybody's favorite racing and sports talk show, the Revved Up Sports Show from Texas. Showtime Bobby Chaffee right here. This time, the Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez, that is the man on the right side of the screen. And tonight is a very special show, especially for those fans that are drenched and in touch and in tune with the South Texas dirt scene. We have both the South Texas IMCA Modified Series on tonight, as well as the 2026 season release for Texana Raceway Park. We are live on both of those Facebook pages, along with obviously our page here and the Racing America social. So bring us a comment if it's a hot topic, an appropriate comment for the what we're talking about. We'll send you a Revved Up Sports Show prize pack, courtesy of our friends at ODS On Demand Shirts.
Yeah, don't be on there talking noise, you guys. As you can tell by the NASCAR stuff, we don't need any name calling and all that. That's bad for business. That is very, very bad for business. So you guys just kind of hang tight. This is a real cool show that we kind of put together at the end of last week to be able to kind of do a little bit of recapping, and at the same time as and I want to commend both Stems and TRP for the fact that here we are on 24 November 2025, and they're already being proactive about their stuff for 2026, and that's super important right there, because people need to plan. I mean, it's truly something, and know the direction things are going. I mean, that's really important. We people joke around about it a lot, but I mean, you plan stuff around what you foresee that's going to happen. So very excited about what we're doing tonight, and look forward to the comments and the great conversations that we're going to be having tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Obviously, I'm entrenched in the middle. Full disclosure, I'm the voice of Texana Raceway Park, so I'm entrenched into the operations of that racetrack. So not trying to hide anything, not trying to play favorites, but as long as you know that I am the voice of Texana, so it doesn't show that there's conflict, because we invite all racetracks, especially those of our friends within the vicinity of South Texas and Central Texas, or Texas as a whole. When they want to release their 2026 schedules, we invite them all to come on the show.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, for what it costs to get on this show, for the free advertising, free 99, I don't know why people don't take more advantage of it, but whatever, it's here, and who knows, maybe those standards of getting on here are going to change a little bit. So we don't know, but looking forward to this one tonight. And man, let's get after it. Let's go nose deep. Looky there, my goodness. And this is a great example of why these are three people here that are race announcers and not on video very often.
Yeah.
Right?
There's good reason for that.
Absolutely. It's our man, Nick Robbins, man. Welcome to the mayhem that is RUSS, man. How's things going for you?
Man, Rodney, Bobby, thank you so much for having me on. Things are going well tonight. I'm looking forward to breaking some news and just talking shop. I know 2026 feels like it's a long way away, but really we've only got about 4 weeks left on this calendar, and we're going to flip the page, and the first of the year is going to be here before we know it. Stuff's coming pretty quick, and we're trying to keep pace. We want to show racers and tracks and fans that we're being proactive. Like you said in the intro, we're trying to work real hard and get out ahead of this thing and put together a good calendar for 26.
Yeah, Nick, I'll start it. So let's kind of, we don't have to touch on a lot of 25, but you were actively involved there, the voice of Stems, and you were at every event, I believe. Yeah. So kind of break everything down, man. We talk about it on this program a lot. Car counts increasing. You're seeing folks that are everything's broadening out. Kind of wrap up 2025 before we dive into what's coming up.
Yeah, 2025 was definitely a fun year. It was my first year of involvement with the STEM series, and I love it. I feel like Even though I got my start, my very first job was actually at Cotton Bowl here when we moved to Texas. I feel like really the South Texas area has become home. I know a lot of folks know me from calling races weekly down at the race ranch now. Was South Texas Speedway back in the day when I was down there. Had a great time and built a lot of relationships. And really, to me, that's what the STEM series is about, is continuing to foster those relationships and grow some of the talent, promote some of the best talent that I think exists in this state, and bring it to a new and wider audience. And in that vein, we're going to be changing the name this year. We're going to be the Southern Touring IMCA Modified Series. We are planning on covering the whole state. There it is. You've got the scoop right here, folks. This is big news. This is what we're doing. This is what we're looking at. We want to broaden this out, take it to a bunch of different places across this great state. There's some great racetracks really all over the state of Texas, and there's some great modified drivers all over the state of Texas. And we want to bring all those things together and make it big for 26.
Absolutely.
So Nick, the scope of stuff, obviously, you want to be continue to race with your friends and help bring you to the party. How far north are we talking about? Is that still to be determined? Are we talking about, maybe up as far as Kennedale, Boyd area? We talking, Arklatex, or anywhere that'll have you guys for the 2026?
At this point, yeah, we are actively talking to tracks up in that northern Texas area. I mean, if Bubba Rollo want to have us over at Boot Hill, I would love to go there for sure. And we haven't quite made that decision just yet, but we're actively, absolutely talking to some of those North Texas tracks that you mentioned for sure. And we just want to go all over the place, man. We're still putting a schedule together right now. I can't really tell you exactly what's been confirmed, but I can tell you that it's good stuff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Nick, that's really the thing where you get a series like this, and especially with big mods, like we like to say with the big mods, where you want to see increased growth. And I think the thing that was really impressive about you guys is that even though that you were more South Texas based, that you had invaders that would come in and then that wanted to run with you guys. And the other part with ODS and the money and the purses and all that, kind of talk about that part. I mean, that's really important when it's still a new series. I mean, it is still a new series.
It is. Last year was just year 2, so 26 will be year 3 of existence for this. And James and the crew at On Demand have come on strong and really supported this thing, and James really wants it to grow. And I know that y'all have a good working professional relationship with James. He's got his fingers in a lot of pots and really does a lot for racing across the state, in the southern part especially. But I think he wants to branch out and just bring some good racing that we've got in the southern part of the state and take that on the road and see what we can do up north, and maybe entice some of those northern shoes to come down and run with us down in this part of the state. Like you said, the money's good. All of our races are $1,000 to win, $100 to start minimum. And that pay scale is tiered. So the more drivers come and show up, the more money you get to run for. Once you cross that 24 mark, 25 to 39, we jump to $1,500 to win and $125 to start. And if we can get 40 of you to come, we'll pay you $2,000 to win, and we'll pay you $150 just to take the green flag. So I think that that kind of potential, it was really enticing to a lot of drivers. And I think one thing that James and Rachel and myself have really worked hard to do, even in the short span that we've been in the off season so far, is come up with ways to make these drivers feel like they're not our customers, they're our partners. They're not monkeys in a circus. We're working together to bring good, entertaining, competitive racing that not only incentivizes those drivers to come, but also respects their families, their time, their investments in their machinery, in their racing operations. We understand what that looks like to run an IMCA modified these days. You're talking $60,000, $70,000 if you buy brand new parts just to get it on the ground, and that's with no backups and nothing to tow it around in. So we know what that looks like, and we understand the commitment and the investment that this is, and we want to let drivers know that we understand that we respect that, and that we want them to come and work with us, not for us, but with us alongside, to bring great racing to tracks across the state.
So, Nick, are you able to explain the point structure, how it works? Obviously, IMCA has a certain amount of points when you get to a racetrack part of the equation. Is it somewhat similar with the touring series? Where you have to do like draw points or draw positions and stuff like that, pill draws and re-racks and restacks and all that good stuff?
We absolutely set up every night is pill draw for us. We don't use the point average kind of stuff. It's all draw in for all of our races. I will say that since we are, fully backed and sanctioned by IMCA, we've been in talks with Brett and with Jim up at headquarters for IMCA, and they're behind us 100%. They loved what we were doing last year. They liked the car counts. They liked the racing. And I think that for us working with a group like IMCA, as you boys know what it's all about, it brings us legitimacy. It makes us look like a professional organization. They back their races really well, and they're really good at, that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? That backup, that associate sponsor. They really work hard to contingency. There's the word I'm looking for. Contingency is what I'm after. They really, really good with that kind of stuff. They know what their racers are putting out. And in that vein, all of our races being minimum $1,000 to win, they are all Fast Shafts qualifier races for Supernats at the end of the year. And our racers get all of the things, all the benefits that come, with running IMCA. They still get to run for their regional points. They still get to run for their local points and their state points and all that. So we really, really, really want to work hard just to incentivize these drivers to come and run with us and have a good time. And I think the few events that we did get in last year, there were a lot of rainouts. Yeah. We did complete 7 races, and we had 5 different winners in those 7 races. So that, I think, speaks to the level of competition that we've got and the level of drivers that want to come and run.
And Nick, kind of, let's mention, and something that you touched on right there. You mentioned, of course, James. I mean, there's, we all know we with ODS what they do. You mentioned Rachel, yourself. I mean, for you, kind of the next step right there, you're going to be, I say the front man when it comes to, the rebrand and all of that. And it's a natural thing because the race fans see you, they hear you. Yes. You've done this for so long. You've traveled across the country. Kind of talk about the regrouping that we're seeing here. I think the addition of Rachel and you taking it to the next route. Let's talk about this new brain trust, man. This is really, really good.
It's big, and we're very excited about it. I got to be honest. I've been around the scene. My wife and I moved here back in 2013, and I started working at Cotton Bowl as Jonathan Sanford's backup in 2014. So I've built a lot of relationships here, and yeah, I'll still be on the microphone at the shows. I'll still be calling the action for the Stims in 26. But yeah, there's just I think it's a good feeling to have this kind of the 3 of us. We can talk things out. We can bounce ideas off of one another. The 3 of us have nothing but love and the desire to see racing in Texas grow. And we are just trying to think of new ways to make that happen. We're trying to think of ways that are racer centric. We're putting those drivers first. Again, we see them as partners. That's really what we want to stress to them. And we are very excited to be working together with James, kind of overseeing everything more or less. Mm-hmm. Will obviously have final say. He is the man that at the end of the day is paying the bills for us to be a series going up and down the road. And he understands the commitment behind that. I think all of us love the material that we see from him. He's heavily involved in the racing scene in the state of Texas. And we're just really excited to come together and work together as a unit to make this series do nothing but grow. That's all we want to see for it is growth.
Absolutely.
So, Nick, obviously it's still early in the beginning, but obviously I'm sure the series is no different than just your individual racers about this time of year. Obviously, you're looking for partners to team up with you for the 2026 season. Where's the best place to make contact with you guys? Is it just get with you guys directly on social media? Do you want them to email the series pages, or what's the best way?
Any of those things. You can go to stimsracing.com, and there is contact information there. If you're wanting to race with us, there's series registration links are up, and I believe they're current and available. But yeah, if you're looking to partner with the series, we've got some great marketing partners from last year that are coming back that we're talking to right now, trying to put a package together. But yeah, if you want to be part of a series that's growing and is expanding its reach and looking to do so, aggressively this year, I think, and just kind of get out there and see what's up. Yeah, you can get a hold of us directly. All of our contact information is on the website. Again, that's stemsracing.com is the easiest place to go. And there will be emails and phone numbers available on the website for sure.
And Nick, I think one of the things that makes kind of with the IMCA tie-in right there, because when you do have, and again, with the series going into year number 3, I mean, it's changed a little bit. Yeah, whether it be the direction or the folks that are kind of running that. But I think with you guys, because when this happens, you always get, well, are rules going to change? Is this going to change? Is that going to change? I think that's the beauty of what the IMCA part is, man, everything's set in stone, and whatever changes is being done way above anybody here's pay grade.
Absolutely. And whatever changes are happening for all of the racers that drive these modifieds across the country. That to me is the beauty of these big, yes, they are still grassroots racing. Yes, they can still be regional groups, but the national backing, the board, set across the board, level across the board. And I love that. Yeah. And it does make that much easier for us. We don't have to sit and ponder deck height and spoiler height and what shocks you can run and limiting chains and all that jazz. We don't have to do that because the IMCA folks have handled that for us. And we are very happy again for their support, their partnership as well. It's big, big, big for us. And it really takes a load off of our shoulders. And that allows us to grow these partnerships with the racetracks, with our marketing partners, and with our drivers and with the fans.
Right.
That's great to see. Although, really what I would love to see, and it completely just off the cuff and like a dream scenario for me, would be like at Texas Motor Speedway after all the points are done, Stems versus Toms. Like that would just be badass. But
you've got me. Yeah, you've got the hair on the back of my neck standing up, Bobby, right now for sure.
Like that would be the epitome
phenomenal.
of Texas. The top of the echelon of Texas racing. Would be right there for that race, but that was just me thinking, looking at the new logo and getting excited. The race director stuff side, are you guys going to bring in your own staff? Are you going to rely on the track staff, or is it still to be determined?
At this point, we are looking to bring our own staff. Yeah, I think just the fact that this division, like, yes, you might see, IMCA mods weekly at your racetrack. Part of the reason for the series, though, is that that's not a common thing anymore. You don't see a lot of weekly modified racing across these racetracks, and we are trying to kind of build the class up, build these tracks up, make it feasible for these racetracks to have these shows as often as possible. But yes, I do think just for seamless operation, consistency across all of the events. Yeah, we're looking to have our own kind of crew come in, looking to have a race director come in and do that kind of thing for us at each of our shows. I just think that kind of brings a sense of cohesion and a sense of professionalism to all the shows. And I think that's where we're going to land at this point.
Absolutely. So Nick, I know you talked about right there, the schedule's still being worked out. And again,
it is,
a lot of tracks don't have their schedules ready. So that's part of why that happens. But I would think, that folks should be prepared for, the mainstays that have been a part of Stems up to this point, those, and, our South Texas bunch,
yes.
I feel pretty confident that they'll be a part of that when that comes to fruition.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are looking to have, we're wanting to be about 20 races. I feel like that might sound ambitious, but that's kind of the number we've got bouncing around in our heads to get scheduled. And as we all know, 66% of the races we put on the schedule are probably going to be where we land. So we're looking, you're going to have your rainouts, you're going to have your cancels, you're going to have your dates that for whatever reason don't pan out. So we're looking to land truthfully between the 12, I think 14 to 16 range is where we want to be at the end of the year. We're looking to schedule 20 is the number that we have in our heads. Again, that might sound ambitious, but we really think that this is going to be pretty big this year. So yeah, we're looking Southern racetracks. Absolutely. We are going to be, I know I can go ahead and say that I've been talking with the folks at Texana. We are going to be back on that schedule. Don't have a definite date just yet, but we are going to be back on that schedule. And we're looking at talks with some North Texas racetracks for sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see a handful of dates, north of DFW. So be looking for that. And there, as you both know, as I'm sure you've heard, the rumors going crazy in the silly season. Lots of things are happening. Lots of cogs have to come together for all of these things to be official. So yeah, at this point, it really is just kind of a waiting game. We've been in talks with several different racetracks. I myself have had conversations today and this past weekend with a couple, just trying to put the feelers out there. Hey, we want to bring our circus to your tent. You know, we want to come and showcase what we've got down south and make it look good for the folks up north. And I think that there is some excitement, and I know that we as a crew are excited as well for what 26 looks like.
Yes, sir.
I know we're already getting the interest is already up. We've even got a 105. Everybody's wanting to know if you're going to go to 105. I'm sure the calls have been out, and it, there has to be a mutual understanding between the racers and the series and the track, because you are a showpiece and you are an attraction when you go to a racetrack. Fans can maybe expect to see a little bit of increase in a ticket price, because your way that the cars are scheduled are built and are ran. The purse, the track has to pay. The person has to pay for the series to be there. We're not trying to pull back the curtain, but it's not like the track just says, "Hey, come here, you race here." Well, the series has got to make financial sense for the series. It has to make financial sense for the race, and the tracks end up having to pay to series to come to their racetrack. That's not just a Stems thing. That's an every series type of thing. So
absolutely,
we don't want to make the illusion, that it's just a, hey, come see us, and hey, we'll be there. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts and pieces, like you said, to A, get the schedule, and then B, just to get the tracks to open the dialogue too. So
yeah. And some of these, they hear a new voice. Like, a lot of people know who I am in Texas, but only because of announcing. I've full disclosure, this is my first go around this wagon as a co-promoter of sorts. I'm developing a new set of skills, and I'm adding layers to existing relationships. So yeah, it does take a little bit of dialogue, is a good word. And I've started some of those, and we've started some of those as a crew. And that's really where we are in the planning phase right now. We have got some confirmations at a few tracks, but really we're just talking to a lot of different people. Yeah. 105, I'll let you know, is on the list of places we would like to be. That is in our heads for sure. A big part of what we've been trying to do, part of that racer forward mentality that we've got, is trying to keep these races, our consecutive shows. If we want to do a Friday and a Saturday race weekend, we want those races to be less than 150 miles apart. We want them to be, economical, not only for the drivers to get from place to place, but we want it to make financial sense for a racetrack on a Friday night. We know that's difficult in this area in this time. And we also want to have those conversations with racetracks. Like, what's it going to take? What do we need to do? What can we do to help it make sense for you? Because it really, like you said, Bobby, it's got to make sense for all of these people in order for it to happen in the first place.
And Nick, I think the one thing, like when you guys come to town, and me growing up, having been a spectator for so long, when whatever series came in, whether it be TIDA back in the day or All Pro or whatever it was, some form of ARCA, it really seems like you guys have done a great job of building that to where it's an event. I mean, this is a series that comes in, you roll up with a merchandise trailer, you've got all of this stuff. And I would think that with the brain trust in full force now, I would think that that's going to be even more expanded.
Well, and James is big in that. Like, obviously that's his bread and butter. It's what he does for a living. And yeah, I think the big thing that we bring that makes us so excited is that the three of us really love racing. Yeah. Regardless of what we've done in the past. I know James has been a racer. I've dabbled in driving race cars. I'm much better at talking about them, I will say that. And Rachel's got a great eye, not just for photography. Obviously, that's how most of us know her. But she's also got a great eye for what drivers need. She's got a great ear for what they need, and has a great sense of making accommodations for those needs. We want the drivers to understand that truly we are here to work alongside them. It's not like a customer and salesperson relationship. Like I said, we're fostering these relationships together and growing this partnership to make these races something truly special that does involve a merchandise trailer, which, if you want to be a partner and you want to see your company's logo scattered across at racetracks across the state, you can get contact us. We'll get you on that trailer for sure. It's going to get rewrapped, and we're going to go with all new stickers and all new designs. So if you want to see yours as part of that, you can contact us for sure. We'd love to have you on board. But yeah, there is an excitement. There is an air of it is an event. It is a show. It took a while, I think, for me to tap into that this is the entertainment business. Like, yeah, it's racing and it's fun and it's exciting, but that is the business, is the excitement, is the entertainment. And truthfully, our customers at the end of the day are the race fans and the racetracks. And I love that. I think that for me, having that click and having that realization is going to be big. And I think that it's going to be big for the fans and the tracks as well.
Agree.
Yeah, I think at the end of 25, that unsanctioned, yes, highly promoted big mod race at Cotton Bowl during Oktoberfest was anything to lead into 2026, in addition to the rebranding, the new thinking, the new expansion and stuff like that. I think that was a fantastic way to end 25 into 20 to lead into 26. So I think that you guys are on the right track. Obviously, we're excited to help and be, somewhat partners with you guys, as always, with the mutual business relationships that we all have with On-Demand Shirts. So I'm excited, Nick. I mean, I know we'll get a chance to work together in the tower down at Texana, hell, maybe even a couple other places, depending on who's shaking out. I know you had to fill in for Milton there at Cotton Bowl for the Oktoberfest. You filled in for me when I was at a football game too. So, you're a man. You wear a lot of hats, my man.
Racing is truly a place where I find joy, guys. And I think that honestly, Rachel and James and I have had this conversation, and not to get mushy and emotional, but this world is crazy and race cars just have always made me happy. And I think that James and Rachel kind of feel the same way about it. And if we can bring some smiles to some people in a crazy world like we live in right now, I think ultimately that is what we want to do. And yeah, I have worn a lot of hats since I was a little bitty boy and my daddy took me to the races for the first time. I knew then, literally at like 4 or 5 years old, that I wanted to be involved somehow. I never really knew what that looked like then. But I had a shot back before we even moved to Texas. I got to call some races back home in Arkansas, and that was a natural fit. It really felt like a duck to water, and I've enjoyed traveling across the country and hitting just about every track in this state for sure. And just, talking about race cars. They go fast. They make a lot of noise. What's not to love, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a way of life right there. You get that stuff in you, and it's hard to get away from it.
Absolutely.
Last one for me, Nick. Of course, there it is right there. Southern Touring IMCA Modified Series, the rebranded series right there. But that part changes, the logo changes, but I think the consistency and everything that you've seen from this series and the growth will continue. So for you, with this next step, so I think where you have a great advantage right here is that you have seen this across the country in so many different places, where you see how this series operates, how this racetrack operates. I think that's kind of in your portfolio. Have you, a lot of folks want to do stuff the way we've always done it here, and that's not necessarily the way to do it the right way from time to time.
Yeah, no. And I think that this industry has been monumentally resistant to change. And I'm not saying that everything about it needs to change, but I do think that just the way that we as promoters see the relationships that we have with the groups of people we come in contact with, the drivers, the tracks, the fans, those need to change. I think that the mentality of promoters is sometimes to come in, if it doesn't make money, it ain't worth doing. And one thing that we, and I understand that, yes, the dream is to make money in this industry. And I think that the three of us have seen enough of it to understand that the only way to make a small fortune in racing is to start with a large fortune in racing. Like we're honestly not setting out to make a bunch of money. I'm not doing this for a living. I'm doing it because I love it. And I think that James and Rachel have that same kind of mentality. And our racers, our drivers that we're working with on this series, none of them do it for a living. This is a hobby that they love. It is an investment that they deem worthy of their hard-earned dollar. And we understand that. And I think that just that approach alone is going to go a long way in building bridges. Now, what we do with those bridges after they're built is on us, and that will come in the future. And it will come with its own special set of hiccups and challenges that we look forward to, I think.
Absolutely. Well said.
Well, Nick, like I said, good luck. I'm sure I'll see you at least once, if not twice, down there in
For
Flag
sure.
City, USA, and the Texas.
sure.
And best of luck to you, Rachel, James, the whole crew. And damn, I'm excited. I'm excited.
too, man.
I think it's going to be a hell of a 2026 season for Stems.
It's shaping up real good. We're very excited about it. Once again, if you want to get on board, you're a marketing partner, you're a racetrack, reach out. Website right now, stemsracing.com. All of our contact information is up there. Cell phone numbers, email addresses, it's all right there for you. Go ahead and grab it. Once again, stemsracing.com. Guys, thank you so much for having me on. And I look forward to doing it again in 26 for sure.
Absolutely. We'll definitely work hand in hand with you guys, and looking forward to the success, man. Congratulations, and let's go get it, dude. Kick some ass.
Thanks,
right,
boys.
man.
Appreciate it.
Take care, Nick.
Yep.
You bet. There he goes. Nick Robbins, good addition right there. I mean, not only with the on the track work that he does as a race announcer and broadcaster, but as a really, and when you get somebody that's been in the sport like that, people will gravitate to him. I mean, I can tell you from past experience when you have that position and then you start working into something else. I mean, it's really pivotal. You have to learn some different stuff, like you said about different skills.
Oh yeah, I remember doing it with Tom's with Cody.
Yeah,
so it's a
you
different
get
animal.
Yeah, the people that you think are your good friends, they call you a piece of shit from time to time, but it's all in good love. You know, you can drink a Busch Light with them afterwards, and it kind of all goes away. But looking forward to what they're doing, man. And I absolutely love this right here, Southern
That's
Touring.
Great. That's a good rebrand right there.
That is top notch right there. That is looking like some really, really good stuff. So once again, that is your breaking news right there. The Southern. Forget South, Southern. I like that. I like that. Just that little element right there. That little element opens up. Texas is South. I mean, Louisiana is South. So anyway, great rebranding right there. Coming up, Bobby and Monty Chamberlain are going to talk about the 2026 schedule coming up at Texana Raceway Park. Truly one of the best racetracks you're going to find. It is that down home feel. Love hitting that place. They'll have that coming up. But first, hey man, another word from our friends, title sponsor of this program, along with Audiovisual Consultations. It's James Cole and the great team at On Demand Shirts.
Precision, consistency. Just like in racing, these are our values as screen printing, embroidery, and everything in between. If it's branded, we can do it.
There it is. On Demand Shirts. Check them out on Facebook. Official apparel provider of the Revved Up Sports Show, of Bobby, of me, and of a lot of you. On Demand Shirts. All right, let's talk some scheduling. Oh, were you on trial today or something? Look at this guy with a tie.
You know,
Ward County Playboy is in full effect tonight.
Yeah, I think we caught him in between shifts.
You know, I was taught years ago that when you go to an interview, you should dress for success. So while this is not a job interview, it is being interviewed by the incredibly famous Revved Up Sports Show. So I wanted to look right.
You want to borrow some money, don't you? Are you in shorts? I wear a polo and basketball shorts when I do this show. What do you have on the bottom side with a drink in your hand? Or do we even want to know?
Well, the WCPB does like the finer things in life.
There you go.
I'm not standing up, if that'll answer your question.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys. You were part of the Texana Brain Trust, so I'm going to give you guys the floor. I'll step in the background here and work on some stuff. Boys, let's talk some TRP in 2026.
Let's do it.
All right, Monty. Well, it's good to have you on. Obviously, we've been texting back and forth for almost daily, feels like, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I know that you have been hard in the scenes. And before we release the schedule, just talk about some of the nuances, if you will, and some of the challenges of trying to determine which direction you wanted to go for 2026 after a remotely successful 2025 down there in Flag City, USA.
Yes, sir. I'll kind of give a quick review of that. So 2025, we would call a success, especially when we wrapped it up with the banquet. Cord and I have said, something that a lot of tracks like to do. It's tough to coordinate, but we had a free banquet for the drivers. We had cash prizes for the top 3 in each class of the 4 big cars. We had trophies for the top 3 in everything. I think maybe 5 trophies with a couple of sponsorships for the go-karts. But that recharged our batteries. The season overall certainly had its challenges and some things we learned from with weather. Very, very challenging. But what the positive takeaway was, our team, that most of them have been working there for years. Our team accomplished the goal that Cord and I had, which was a little unique from many tracks. We wanted to, with Cord being the financial source and the overseer of all of the physical aspects of the facility itself, and me behind the scenes doing the communications, and even I do all the communications with the staff. Our goal last year was to have that staff operate basically as an independent entity on race night. And without having one person there conducting with the wand, the goal was for each entity, each segment of the operation to run their part of the show. And everybody did so phenomenally. Once in a while, of course, we would be available. And if we were there at the track, either one of us were there, we'd be the go-to if a crisis occurred. So just for example, I'll give you one little example. Last year, most traveling series tell us, here's the price and write us a check because they bring cash. Well, one traveling series, we just assumed, we didn't ask. And so at the end of the night, they said, okay, where are the pay envelopes? I said, well, there's a check, right? But we scrambled. So they said, we don't do that. We don't bring that much cash. So we scrambled and thought, our pay envelopes are done before we get there. So we had incoming revenue that night, and we scrambled and built a really big purse from the intake of the cash, because we take credit cards also. Those are things that you just have to be fluid with. And we wanted to solve that one on the spot if we could. So that was a learning lesson. Weather was a learning lesson. How we handle parking for reserved spots was a learning lesson. So taking that forward into 2026, we think there's always, and where we are is so close to the Gulf, there's a big chance you'll have some rainouts. So we prepared a 13 race regular season and one large event at the end of the season. We're not going to do the large event in the middle. It takes too much energy. But we learned about weather. We'll allow for a max of 3 rainouts, and then we start to reschedule on the 4th one. We don't know where that will be. We'll see where it falls, and it's not going to be perfect for everyone, right? It just won't be, but we'll end up rescheduling and for those after a 4th one. So we learned that you need to have a limit on the number of rainouts. Last year we had way too many, and our life schedule didn't allow for us to have thought ahead to think of rainouts. So we had to just start dropping those. The other thing is with parking on a large show, we did a better job this year of letting anyone know who buys reserved parking spots that those will be good at all regular season events, which will be from the time we start until the last race in September. And then the last show would be open parking. And reserve parking seems to work very well at our place for a lot of folks. I've already sold 63 reserve spots out of the 125 spots we have. That's right on track for last year. So that's very, very good. We are getting ahead of the game with the schedule, like we did last year. And there's a driver for that with us. Why are we so early? Well, we're so early because we have many competitors who race at the plants, the petrochemical plants, all up and down the Gulf. Anywhere our customer base regarding that is anywhere from the Chocolate Bayou area all the way back down to Corpus. And they have to schedule their time off in advance, well in advance. And deadlines for that are right about now for many plants. They want to know, what is your vacation request? So we try to get this out as quick as we can. We're actually a couple of weeks later than last year. So that's driving that. And we are an every other week track. But we learned, for us anyway, we have to get this out pretty early so competitors that work in those industries can schedule off.
Well, without further ado, obviously I got a chance to see it. Actually, I see it last night, actually, for the first time. And I believe there's only 4 people that have seen it. Actually 5 if you count Cord. clearly. So, Rodney, go ahead and pull up the 2026 Texana Raceway Park World Debut schedule right there. And Monty, the thing that I noticed right off the bat, and it's a different take than what we did last year, is that the opener on March the 14th and the season finale on September the 12th are double point nights. What was the decision to go that route with the opening and closing being double points? Was it in the event of a rainout again, or is it just something that you guys thought, well, hell, let's try this and see what happens?
Not so much due to rainouts, but trying to be a little old school. This was a common practice years ago at tracks in this region, especially, Goliad had that back in the day, Shady Oaks. Texana had it for years when I was first starting racing. It's an incentive. It is an incentive to show up for opening night and get your feet wet. But if you're going to be interested in points, it's certainly something to consider to attend. So for us, it was just trying to throw some old school back into it more than anything.
So what are the things that people are going to ask? And I already know because we talked about it before the schedule. The schedule dates itself are complete. The difference is that you're going to have some touring series added. But as we just talked to with Nick, obviously those are still tracks are still finalizing schedules. The touring series are all still working on their schedules because they can't make their schedules so the tracks are ready and all of that. So people know right off the bat that the questions are going to be when the touring series, who's coming, who's not. Can you just give a quick overview of the different series that you talked to? Obviously, we know STEMS, the Southern Touring IMC Modified Series that we just talked to with Nick. We know that they're looking at least one, if not two dates down there at Texana. But what other series you've been talking to?
So definitely STEMS, and that's why the schedule looks pretty void. There's a couple of things I'll address on this. The dates are inked in, but STEMS is a series that we definitely want to have back. It was really exciting last year. One of their events got rained out, but they were just an awesome group to work with. They are extremely exciting on track and just bring a lot of professionalism when they visit and quite a show. It's a show. It's not just show up and race, but it's a show. So we will have them back. We have put, and by the way, that once after this tonight, we'll put this schedule on Facebook as well, either tonight or in the morning, and it'll also go up on the Texana website. But so after tonight, STEMS knows our schedule that's going to be available. DCRST will know. We've already talked to them and wanted to have them in. Another great group to have visit. They are really cool to work with. And so now they'll see the schedule. I had already touched base with Dwayne a couple of weeks ago to let him know that as soon as our schedule's out, to study it and let us know the dates that they might have in mind. So we, probably a couple, maybe 3 with them, who knows? But they have to wait, I think, for a lot of other things to get plugged in. So if they're not on there early, they will get on there. The South Texas Dirt Truck Series, we let Scott know that we would like to work with them for a couple of dates so they could study this as well and propose dates they would like. If we get 2 entities that want to propose the same date to visit, we'll work with them and figure that out because we got plenty of room on the schedule. We're not a track that could really do 2 large visiting series in one night that just stretch things out. And also I've talked to Teresa Waller about having the SUS Sprint Series in for one night this year, and she'll study this. She has to also coordinate based on IMCA schedules, coordinate with 105, because if there was a home track, that's kind of their home track where a lot of the guys come from in that area. We've had a couple of other groups, not really series, approach us, but I have told those folks. So like we've had someone ask us, can you bring mini stocks there? Can you bring micro sprints there? Historically, those kind of groups don't bring many cars if we've ever tried it. So we're going to be asking them, and I have, to have a point person to rally the troops if they want to visit. They'll also see our schedule, look at that, and we would need a commitment of X number of cars, which I've told them we couldn't do a visiting class with 4 or 5. That wouldn't be a good show. But I think that's the main series, so that makes up those 4. we'd be willing to talk to anybody who actually could either rally troops or has a series that they can tell us how many cars they could bring.
So I noticed the obviously the sponsorship nights obviously had a really good group of people sponsoring the racetrack last year. A lot of those have already been on the schedule on this limited schedule here, and I think that there's always room for more. Easiest way for people to get in contact with you guys down at Texana to potentially expand the marketing budget for their business or expand their brand down there with the racetrack.
Yes, and I'd like to talk about that for a second. I meant to kind of cover that in that long blurb I had about the visiting series, but on sponsorship specifically, we have Thursday started reaching out to potential sponsors. The names on here, for one reason or another, they've signed on with us in for one of our offerings, so to speak, for a sponsorship. So just kind of glossing over this, and then I'll also go over what the opportunities are. But TECC Roofing and Renovation has purchased a sign that'll be at the track. That's one of those in the general admission, but plus they also purchased the naming rights for the season opener. Anybody who does that, by the way, if you purchase the naming rights for an event, or if we get you on there for one reason or another, you will get the suite for the night with beverages and snacks stocked in there, and you get 6 general admission passes for your group. Second night, March 28th, Rodney Koenig, who's done some of those rental race cars that Tony Blankenship does, he has a fishing tournament in the at Lake Texana, which I believe is in May. But Chasing Whiskers Catfish Tournament, that's done by Rodney Koenig, and he purchased a night at the races specifically. So that's why his name is on there. Moving down, Victoria Equipment Auction, night at the races. They have purchased a night. They did that last year. They got those naming rights. May 30th is a new company, but it's an entity we've worked with before under a different company name, veteran-owned company called American Hero Treasures. They do liquidation for estates and sells, online sales and so forth. Sound really exciting. Buy storage units and resell those, the commodities in them, and so forth. So really excited to have them on board. They have the reason they're on here. They get a night at the races because they purchased the naming rights for Hobby Stocks. So the same gentleman I was working with last year, he is this guy with a new company. So Hobby Stocks are now named, and that'll be shown soon. Moving on down, I don't see it on here yet, but Caney's Welding has purchased E-Mods, and he will get a night at the races. That'll be filled in on here. We have Lance and Martha Toller returning for the the naming rights for the Texana Clash, and as you can see on there, so we are just now, as of last Thursday, and we plug these in real quick over the weekend, we're just now scratching the surface. And so we have a lot of sponsors that were with us last year. We feel pretty certain will return, and we hope to gather new sponsors. And here's the opportunities that will be available. And we have a marketing staff member. The opportunities are, we're going to give the 4 class sponsors, and we feel like all 4 of them, we got 2 of them out of the way. We feel like the other 2 will return, but they'll get a night at the races. Okay. Plus they get a sign when they sponsor a class. You could purchase a small sign in the general admission area. That's the ones near the fences. We are now going to be having the opportunity, taking a page from Cotton Bowl. I went up there and visited with Marianne and H and saw the back straightaway. Cord and his team are going to be prepared to build a framework and offer back straight signs that'll be huge. It'll be behind the back straightaway, not right up against it, but behind it. He owns more property there, and he's going to build the framing structures if we sell those. And those will be the highest, most expensive thing we sell, but it is extremely visible, extremely large. And our marketing staff member will be reaching out to folks on that. And finally, any other things folks have ideas on, or the marketing staff member comes up with, everything is fair game to get companies out there and recognized.
Yeah, I know we had talked about it before, or text back and forth. You could expect some of the same nights that you've experienced at Texana over the course of the last 4 or 5 years. We'll look at having the Easter egg hunt. Obviously, the back to school bash is on there. Those are two pretty heavily attended nights and very popular nights within the Jackson County community and Edna at large. So I know we'll have a couple of those events there that look forward to that. I know that Easter one. That's one, because we don't race on Easter this year. Probably be taking place probably that March 28th race, I would imagine. But talk about the reasoning behind the schedule. Obviously, we're not racing on some of the bigger holidays, but a lot of it has to do with just economics. And then, like you said, there's that work-life balance between you and Cord and some of the staff that you just have to make that work with the schedule that you wanted to put together.
Yeah, I know historically the track is raced on sometimes on an Easter weekend or a July 4th weekend. Frankly, it's this. I'm sure a lot of the staff appreciate it, but it's for us personally. We are not ones who want to be at the racetrack on those major family holidays. So we're going to commit to our other lives. So we will not race on Easter weekend, and that was kind of the design of plugging it in this way. We will not race on 4th of July weekend, nor Memorial Day weekend, nor Labor Day weekend. And there's one example in here, if I remember correctly, where we're going to have a 2-week off period so that we avoid around the Labor Day weekend, and then we jump back on track again. So we more or less, it's an every other week schedule for 13 points nights. With one exception, if I counted correct the other night when I was looking at it on the calendar, there'll be one situation where we have a 2-week gap, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it looks like the end of August is on the 22nd for race 12, and then race 13 takes about 3-ish weeks without looking at the calendar, going to the season finale September 12th. So I think that's probably the one that you're looking at there. So
yeah, I think everybody might appreciate a breather by then, that last push going into the final.
Yeah, and it's going to be the hot portion of the summer. Those June, July races will be pretty intense. In terms of the obviously that's breaking news about the signs on the backstretch, which would be pretty cool. Any other breaking news facility wise that y'all are ready to talk about, or is it just going to be a wait and see till you get there on March 13th?
I think for me it'll be a wait and see at the moment, but Cord does something every off season. There have. The things we've talked about in the past was the new press box or scorekeeper press box, the general admission restrooms 2 years ago, the refurb and the AC added to the pit restrooms this last off season, lighting in the pits. We don't have sound in the pits. That would be a major undertaking, and it would help, but it's a big undertaking. The concrete barrier Cord put around the track, that was a major undertaking. The drainage in the back, which has been phenomenal to help shed that water off. But I don't know 100% what his plan is in the off season just yet. But he always has some project that he does between this November and end of February timeframe.
So that's good. Best place for people to get a hold of you, just through Messenger or through most people? I mean, you're not a hard guy to find on social media or at the racetrack. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you in terms of the sponsorship opportunities?
So what we would like is so that we can keep track of it and we do good accounting and collections and so forth, would be to send us a message to the Texana page via Messenger off of Facebook. When somebody starts if they want to inquire and we haven't already reached out to them, I'll get them hooked up with our marketing staff member, and that would be the most desired. If someone knows me and they text me, certainly I'll move on that. But for tracking purposes, the ultimate is to message us through Messenger, provide a name, a phone number, the business, of course, the key contact that we would talk to. And that's always a challenge if you're going to go hit the ground cold. You show up at a business, you kind of need to know who the decision maker is, because you could get pushed off if you don't get to the right person.
Well, I know that I'm excited that the schedule has been released because then it makes me plan my 2026 season, and then I get a chance to kind of foreshadow different views and stuff that I can go to when I'm not racing, because people get surprised when I show up at other racetracks. They're like, "You're not racing this weekend. Why are you here?" I'm like, "Well, because I'm a race fan and I want to be here to help any way that I can." So I know that you venture off to some of the other South Texas racetracks, just like you did this weekend. What's up with that braking deal? I thought you had that fixed on that left rear, glowing like a glow stick at a Harlem Globetrotters Nights Out race. What's going on with that, man?
Well, I'm one of those lucky drivers, hired shoe, so to speak, that get to drive one of Tony's Blankenship's cars when he's not renting them. And I had that first, I drove it for him in, I think it was the end of August, and first had that problem. He took it back to the shop, worked on it, thought it was repaired. I came back and brought it to the Clash, and maybe it was September. And then October, I brought it to the Clash. We were running good and started having the same problem. This weekend, which I'm going to deviate for just a second on a personal note. So this weekend, we went down there and we were crap in practice night. We really just were going backwards. So we tightened up the car. I came back Friday and went from 5th to 1st in a matter of several laps on the first heat race. The second heat race, I was outside, or where was I? Outside pole, and went to 1st. And TJ Sullivan kind of almost had the same path. He started about the same depth in each of his heat races and won them. So I won both heat races. He won both heat races. But something weird is going on with that car. It'll start lighting up like that, which is kind of a show. But you go to tech, as you do in the infield there, and you come off the scales, and then I'd turn to the left and it'd lock up. I mean, the pedal is stuck. And then in the feature, you never know what's going to happen, but we had a car that I thought was going to go to the front, and it was primed to go to the front, but those brakes started kicking in, as you saw. And so there was no pedal anymore. After halfway into the race, when it was lighting up, the pedal got stiff. And then after our last caution, the pedal went to the floor, and I had a little bit of brake. But so obviously you can't enter the corner that well. But otherwise, it was great. Now, the final note is I had such a phenomenal time down there. I love going to a different track where I'm not working or feeling, the sense of some little responsibility over me, even if I'm racing at Texana. But let me tell you, Saturday it rained about 3:30, I forget, and rained for 30 minutes. The pits were
rough out there.
It was rough. The pits were rough. But if it hadn't of, I think all the car toters hadn't already been in there, well, you couldn't have got them in. Yeah. But then that track was like, whew, they got their work cut out for them. But let me tell you, that was one of the best tracks I've ever raced on. And it was what I love about South Texas Speedway is you can pretty much hammer down except for setup in the corner. And then you can hammer down all the way around, just create that diamond. And anyways, they did such a phenomenal job. The track was fast. It was smooth. It was incredible. You just had a huge levee down on the infield. You don't want to get out of sorts and try to get into that. But it was just phenomenal. And then it came raining again at the end of the night, and they couldn't do the features right for the limiteds. So we were staying over, and it rained and it rained and it rained, and it was slop Sunday morning. But we left at about 7 a.m., put it in four-wheel drive low, and just eased out without giving it gas. So
right on out.
Hold on, Rodney. Before I forget, because I forgot to mention this when I had the schedule up. People are I can already envision the Facebook Messenger messages. 2026 classes. The four main classes are going to stay the same. I know that there's some minor rule changes that are going to be into effect. And then, of course, the magic thing everybody wants to know is, are we going to run karts in 2026?
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna hit all three things you just said. So first, what we call limited modifieds, also called sport mods, those rules will stay the same, and they strictly reference the two sanctioning bodies. Okay. So whatever the sanctioned rules are in 2026 is what we will refer to, and you pick your poison, one or the other. Okay. And so if you go to tech, you declare, I am running under USRA. I am running under IMCA. Then our factory stock rules are going to stay exactly the same. We tossed around, going and referencing a sanctioning body, but I talked to drivers. He said, leave them alone because they're predictable. Okay. And no cost there. E-mods, we're going to stay the same on those. Hobby stocks, they're really the same, but we're going to clarify the shocks they can run, which are rebuildable. Okay. That was allowed last year, but it was never published. And if anybody ever asked, we told them, but we are going to go ahead and put that in black and white to make it clear. That is the only change for those 4 classes. Go-karts, yes, they'll be back. We're going to change up where they run, and that'll be make a few people happy and a few people upset, but we can't continue to do what we were doing and have either a timely show or anything at all at intermission. We kind of have to cancel everything else, but we are going to have them. And it'll just be a format that's earlier and to get wrapped up before we kick out those big cars on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Monty, the only one that I have for you, what I love, I mean, I love the way the schedule lays out, but I like the concept that you guys have used there to where you've got all you've got the, bi-weekly, whatever shows, the regular shows, if we want to call it that. And then it's the one big event. It all kind of culminates with that, where you see a lot of tracks where the big events are kind of quarterly to where they have that stuff, but kind of explain that logic. Cause I love that from your track is very hometown to me. It always has been. The one big event, man. I think that is so cool the way that you guys schedule this thing out.
Well, that is, I don't know what the purse will be this year, but that is a big event because it was the purse last year for factory stocks. They were kind of the showpiece of that. Mm-hmm. Everybody had good money, but factory stocks were 55-44 to win. And so that was huge. So so why do we have it pieced out like that? And then I'm going to make one little final footnote on the schedule. The reason we have it blocked out like that is because we did the big summer show last year, but it takes a lot of effort to promote it coming in. And we really don't have the time to do what we do and promote that and then promote it into the season show. They're almost like as soon as you finish the summer show, you had to start running and get the big show promoted or, through various resources. We don't want to do that. We want to focus all efforts that are coming, through the season, focusing on that big show. We got our points folks. We got people who want to visit. We have notable purses. So that'll draw people all year. And then we want to focus on that one big show more than anything because of interest draw and time management. I did want to say one thing. We did this last season when Cord and I came in to do this, and we did it again. But we share this before we ever let anybody know. We pass this by Marianne, Ray, and Owen. We make sure we haven't done something that is on a date that they see very important. We know how to avoid the DTK Memorial. We know where it historically falls. We know where Oktoberfest historically falls, but we confirm that with Marianne. And we know where the South Texas Shootout historically falls. So that was strategic for our big show. And then the other thing is this. We got 4 tracks that run in the region. We are going to run on the same date sometimes. Mm-hmm. We may all 4 run on the same date, but we are a minimum of 110 miles apart with the exception of Corpus and I-37. Okay. So that's not, if we lived in DFW area, we wouldn't think a thing about that. Right. And then they run every week. A lot of them, some of them, several. So anyways, but the main thing is it's important to us to pass this by our other 3 partners. So that we're not scheduling something where they said, man, I just really need you not to do that. And so that's how this checked out. And that was important to us.
That's good. I mean, obviously I know, like I said, had a little bit of the behind the scenes action, just being behind the scenes with some of the stuff I'm privy to with the text with you, text with Cord, text with the dream team, as you like to call us. And I'm looking forward to it. A few more dates than what I thought, but that's all right. That just means that it's going to be more fun for 2026, more opportunities for the marketing partners and more opportunities for the racers to come out and put on a good show for the fans there at Texana. So hopefully, best of luck to you and Cord and everybody else. And we'll be ready to rock and roll come March 13th.
Hey, Monty, the only thing that's missing is the Legends race. Willis.
And Rodriguez and
yeah, that guy too. Yeah.
Hey, we need to get y'all hooked up with Tony. You know, he was the one with all those cars. And so, yeah, got to get you hooked up with him. That was an exciting night, exciting, fun night.
Good time.
And those rent-a-car, I hate to tell you, we may have competition. He's got four rent-a-race cars next year, plus his personal car. 3 of those rent-a-race cars are committed almost for the entire season. Man. And one guy wants the 4th car. I think he's already asked for it for the first 4 races.
Wow.
So he's going to be fresh out of cars and busy on Monday through Friday getting cars ready.
We might have to have a foot race.
That might be it.
Let's have a foot race. I feel much better about that one. Much better about that one.
That would probably be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we'll get Nick to come down one night and talk about a revved up challenge race. Have me and Rodney in race cars and see what happens.
Yeah.
Then you got a shot at that one, Rodney. Because
I'll win that one. I guarantee you, I'll win.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on a dirt track. So
yeah. Good stuff.
Well, thank y'all for having me. It was very exciting. It's always awesome to be on your show, and I did want to dress for success just tonight, anyway.
Yeah, I feel like a slug the way you look over there, man. Is that an on-demand shirt, blazer, and tie?
Yes, this is one of James' special orders.
Well done.
That I submitted.
Well done, man. Well done. Good stuff.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much.
See you later, Monty. Thanks,
man.
Monty.
Talk to you soon, man.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
There it is, man. Loaded night. You got the rebrand. So to recap everything, there is your Southern Touring IMCA modified series that is going to grow itself out, and great ideas that I've seen right there with different racetracks and different thoughts and so forth. And of course, with the full support of On-Demand shirts, the driving force right there. So that's something that's definitely going to help all of that. So you have that. We broke that. And then also right here, there is your 2026 schedule, man. I like that. That's good. That's a very aggressive schedule. I'm looking forward to that.
Every other week, man. That'll be a challenge on the old vocal cords. But I mean, I did also have like a 5-week break with all the rainouts this year. So
well,
it's bound to happen.
Climate change.
Being down there that close to the coast, and there's always a 20% chance of rain on the coast. So
yeah, good stuff. Great program. Great special Monday program for you guys tonight. So as we start diving in to Turkey Day week, we'll jump back in next week. Maybe get to some of this NASCAR. Okay, we'll save the NASCAR stuff because I think by next week we'll kind of be right on the cusp of that trial.
December 1st is the first day of the trial. I don't think they're going to settle it before they go to trial.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, it's a very eventful weekend with everything that came out, and I did a dirty air yesterday or whenever I did that, and it's like I totally understand that folks are up in arms with the different whatever, but I mean that's stuff that is said where you don't expect people to see that, right?
Yeah.
I mean
I don't expect people to see our text messages. So
I don't think most people want their text messages made, public record. I mean that's it's not a good look. It's not a good look. The SRX thing is the one that I go back to. That was, and I talked about this. It was yesterday, to where it was like, I think a lot of folks are like, "Oh my God," but I think that NASCAR, I think that the Steves were kind of in that conversation because it was us that wanted SRX to supersede and replace NASCAR. And they see what we're talking about, and they're gradually going to go into that mindset. So I think that's a lot of why that conversation happened.
Well, and the main draw of SRX was mainly NASCAR, current and former NASCAR Cup stars.
Absolutely. And I totally get that. I totally get to where they're a little pissed off about that, to where it's like, those are our people out there that this new regime, and to me, it never was that it was going to, I thought it would help. I mean, if you had a Saturday night show or whatever, and you saw those people, I mean, I thought it was always going to be a help, but I think that those empowered people were convinced that it was going to be a bigger threat than it was going to be a help, and here we are with all this time. So
yeah.
And I'm fully sure right now that NASCAR, even the charter system, I think was in good faith to help the sport. I think right now they're like, we shouldn't have done that.
Mm-mm.
We shouldn't have done that shit. I mean, I know that's what I'd be thinking, and I'd text that to anybody right now.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, man. Turkey Day week. I'm on the road tomorrow. Got to make one stop, finish off this phone ordeal, and we'll get that done. And then I think probably for me for Thanksgiving, a little different this year, I'll probably be having a McRib, which I'll take.
Yeah, right. Well, you do like the McRib, so
I love the McRib.
I don't know. I'm actually off tomorrow and on Wednesday. Then, of course, obviously Thursday and Friday. Got to take care of some Caldwell County stuff that I texted you about later. And then gonna, like always, between toys and tools, I'm always in the mood to clean and organize my garage. So I got to work on some of that. And obviously, I've got the new PlayStation that finally came in. So NASCAR 2025, here we go. So
Takes up some time, man. Takes
it
up some
does.
time, don't
It does. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yep.
weird. I've got one setting where I kick their ass, so I bump it up a setting, and then they kick my ass. So I don't know which setting I want to keep it on. So
Oh man, I just put it on the hard one because it's I laugh at myself now. It's like and all the responses. I mean that's the cool part. So, and so we definitely had a lot of tell us what you think tonight. So you folks be looking here in the next couple of days. We'll get one of those winners, or we'll get all those comments determined, and then we have to go over and check the Racing America feeds on X and all of that, and maybe we'll pick a couple and we'll get some hats and caps and all that good stuff sent out, courtesy of our friends at On Demand Shirts.
that's right, best in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, friends, enjoy your Thanksgiving time. Enjoy that Thursday. Family, football, food. You pick the order. It's all those F's. Fun stuff on Friday. And so I guess no, there is no race. Is there racing? I'm sure there's racing somewhere. But anyway.
Supercars run Adelaide on Saturday with Austin Cindric. Friday night and Saturday here in the States, with the races being on. Actually, they may even run a Thursday race. I think they run 2 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. So there's 3 races to go for the supercars. And then F1 just ran in Vegas. So they run Qatar in 2 weeks. And then I think they run Abu Dhabi opening weekend, the same weekend as the Derby. So,
yeah. And say what you want to say. A lot of people in Vegas. A lot of people in Vegas enjoying it. I know Friday. I think Friday the F or free practice 1. It looked a little dense. But on Saturday race day, it was jammed.
It jammed just like you expected. And Verstappen wins by 16 seconds, and everybody still loves it. Don't understand that.
Well, then they
FVG wins by 15 seconds. And people are about to burn the house down in NASCAR. So
yeah, but that dude's a foreigner, man. We're rednecks. We're rednecks.
According to the Thieves, we are.
Yeah, we're rednecks around here. Even me, I'm a redneck around here. So, all right, you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday.
Who you got on Friday, Black Friday? I'm assuming you're going to go for the Longhorns over the Aggies.
Oh yeah, Texas wins. Yeah, absolutely. Texas will win by 10, I think. So yeah.
A&M has yet to shit the bed this season. At some point, they're going to. It may happen on Friday.
They played nobody, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be the downfall of Texas. Texas is going to win that game, and then that's where the whole thing about A&M hadn't played nobody. Honestly, A&M looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
Texas can't stop anybody right now. So we shall see. All right, friends, enjoy that Turkey Day. Don't eat too much. Enjoy that little bit of downtime because it's balls to the wall getting going here very, very soon. And we look forward to doing this again next week. Be sure and check out the socials. And thank you very much to Nick Robbins, Rachel Plant, James Cole, everybody that put that stems together. That very honored to be a part of that rebranding right here live on the program. And, of course, to Monty Chamberlain. With Texana Raceway Park, Cord Beard, everybody doing all of that. And Bobby, you working to get all of that done. And it's a good show. Look forward to doing more of those.
Look forward to do, as we said, Eddie Track, feel free to reach out and we'll work on setting up a special show for you guys as well. Open invitation, racers, tracks, everybody. All you got to do is contact us and we can make something happen.
Well, hold up on that racer thing. You never know what might get announced. People might want to announce on
That's
here.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I'm having a baby. We don't.
Yeah, that's best for your own private social media.
Just post that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just post that on Facebook. All right, you guys. Have a great Turkey Day. Bobby's down south. I'm Roddy up north. And we will see you guys next week for more #Real Race Talk on the Revved Up Sports Show. Be well, friends.